have been having all kinds of technical issues behind the scenes. Mia, I wasn't joking. I can't wait till we can hire a college nerd to edit this stuff for us.
I know, right? It's like, come on, give me a break. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to As the Pages Turned, episode 11. And we are talking about ICE, our most favorite subject that we love and adore. Not really. We don't love and adore. We
No.
don't even want to be talking about this.
The
But
thing that has been messing up all of our weekends, because we showed you previously when they were attacking the protesters and bringing in all those trucks and stuff to harass
right,
immigrants and everything else. Oh, ICE, you have ruined our weekends. We're writers. We don't get many breaks, and you just
I
took away
know.
the remainder and made
I
us feel
know.
unhappy.
Okay, so if you haven't, I mean, I would assume you've been under a rock if you haven't heard about stuff. But what's going on? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. To be fair, there is so much going on. I don't even blame people for not knowing about this, but I feel like this has been a topic of conversation, so everybody should at least have a heads up. But what I and the lovely Spicy Crystal are talking about today
Oh, I'm
is
spicy
ice,
today, aren't I? Ugh.
right? Is the fact that ICE is arresting people for breathing, walking, working,
Existing,
looking at the sky, going to their job, going to
going to
school,
school.
including elementary school. That's illegal now. You
I
name
don't
it,
care.
they're
Those
arresting
children
for it.
try to learn things.
I know, right? I honestly though, why couldn't they have been around when I need to get out of school? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so today it's kind of hard to know where to start with this subject, right? Because
Yeah.
it is ICE is doing so much that like how do you keep track? But I think we should talk about first the senator and the mayor candidate who got arrested, and then we can just kind of go from there. I think, right?
We might as well because Mia, in the past, if I thought if I ever saw a senator arrested, it was drunk and disorderly, or maybe they
Yeah,
were harassing somebody in the bathroom. Yes, that is a reference from years ago. Look it up, people. But
yeah.
I I never thought I would see a senator or public figure arrested for doing their motherfucking job like they're supposed
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. So what we have, the first one obviously is California Senator Alex Padillo was handcuffed. And by the way, he was let go right after the fact, but he was handcuffed after he dared to interrupt Her Highness
The
and
puppy
known
killer.
puppy unaliver, Christy Nome, who is our Secretary of the Gestapo, sorry, Secretary of ICE, and she was having a press conference, supposedly answering questions, though that's not what she was
She was
doing,
yammering
and
gibberish that made no damn sense. Let's just be
that
honest.
too. And so Alex Padillo came in there because he had a briefing that was in the same building that he'd already been him and his staff had been let in, and he was supposed to be having a briefing on that same floor. I guess was passing by, saw the bullshit of her trying to give some pretend press conference, and decided to go in and be like, "Okay, I have a question." And because Her Highness, the puppy unaliver, and yes, that's how we're going to refer to her because
That's
fuck
usually what we
her,
talk about her. Really, I
right?
like
She
her.
unalived a puppy, and as far as I'm concerned, if you unalive a puppy, you don't deserve to be in any kind of public office. So,
Ugh.
she got kind of, she didn't really get upset because again, she probably is a sociopath. That's just my opinion,
You
by the
know
way.
she
My
is.
opinion on this.
Oh, when we're done talking about this, we need to bring up our next little problem, well, huge problem with her.
Oh, we have so many. I mean, where do we start counting?
I don't know.
So she was having a press conference, and he went in to ask a question, and her bodyguards, security, I believe they said it was Secret Service agents, but I don't know for a fact. Basically, her security thought he was a threat for asking because he was a man going at her. And okay, normally, backing up a step, normally, I agree. If you are a woman who's alone in a street or somewhere and you see some guy, I don't care who the fuck they are, I don't care what color they are, you see some guy coming at you out of the night, hey, yeah, be fucking concerned. But this is broad daylight with a press conference conference with a huge security. Like, you're telling me that she was threatened by him? She didn't even look like she gave a fuck that he was there. So really,
at first I thought she didn't even notice him. If I didn't know it wasn't her
mhm.
agents who went after him, I was like, did she notice?
She was ignoring him. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, by the way, the reason why I mentioned this is because her side of the story, conveniently after the fact, was that, oh, it's not because he was a senator asking. He was just some strange guy coming at me, and I was
Oh
so.
yeah.
I'm a small lady. I don't know what to do. Girl, please.
He is an
Girl,
elected
please.
official. Her sorry ass is just a
I know.
fucking appointee. Who the fuck is he?
I know.
Nobody elected. Anyway, nobody elected
Yes.
her ass.
Deep breath. So basically, she's claiming after the fact that all she saw was some guy coming at her, and then her security team clearly took care of it. But what we, the public, saw, because by the way, it was a press conference, so the press recorded it, and also I was not a fan of their coverage either. But let's continue. They recorded how he tried to ask a question, and I don't know if she said, "I don't know who you are," or somebody said, so, like, and so her security team. Her security team was like saying something like, "Who are you?" I don't know if it was her or her security team. I think it was the security team. Said something like, "Who?" And he said, "Hey, I'm Alex Padillo." And clearly, like, this is the ICE facility they're at. He's coming in they know who the fuck he is. It's not like they were having this out in public where she would be in danger. And obviously, they had it inside a special room because they're afraid of the public, right? Because they're doing Gestapo shit. They're afraid of the public. So they have this in a secure fucking building that nobody has gotten into. Anyways, so he supposedly shot. Really, he walked in the room to ask a question. Her security team got butthurt that he dared to interrupt her puppy unalive her highness and jumped his ass, right? And literally, when I say jumped, I mean jumped. So four of them jumped on him, dragged him out in the hallway, tackled him to the ground. This is a Californian senator who's literally doing his fucking job by asking a question. Thankfully,
elected him to literally
be
there. He's not there.
Exactly.
He didn't sneak in the room. He is an elected official. The people of California elected him to be there. She was talking about shit that affects his district. Well,
exactly.
And he has the right, as a senator, as an elected official, to ask a damn question.
And so they put him in handcuffs because, there's been all this tension between, and we'll talk about that. There's been a lot of tension between the Senate and Kristi Noem, especially Democrats, and he is a Democrat, because they have been trying to call her in to have a hearing. And she literally has been avoiding them until recently, when I think shortly before this happened, she actually went in and then she stonewalled them, right? So there is a lot of tension there because they are fed up with the Gestapo tactics of ICE, and we'll get into that too today. So there's a lot of tension. So Kristi, and by the way, Kristi Noem is very calculated in how she does stuff, because everything she's done in this office has been a fucking photo op. She did a photo op with a fucking prison of the people arrested. I believe she did a photo op with that U.S. citizen who was kidnapped. She has literally fucking done photo ops for most of her fucking job. So I am goddamn sure that she told her security team, "Oh yeah, anybody comes in, you fucking tackle them, especially if they aren't white," because, it's all about racism for this. So
it's about them rebuilding the Nazi party.
Right. So basically, her team tackled him, drug him out in the hall, handcuffed him while he was trying to do his job, and then drug him off. Of course, you can't arrest somebody for asking the question, because fuck you, Kristi Noem. And so they let him go like a few minutes later.
They just dragged him out and wouldn't give the poor man any.
They didn't even read him his rights. It was the sewers this country is dropping into cannot be fucking understated. So then what we hear,
nowhere to be found, even though apparently that doesn't matter anymore.
Yes. So then they drug him out. Then, of course, because they were just doing it. Let's be clear. They were doing it for a photo op to make Kristi and Donald Trump happy, right? Right. So then they drug him out. And then he says, and I believe, and honestly, if it comes to who I believe, the puppy unaliver or the senator, hands down, I'm believing anything the senator says. If Kristi Noem told me the sun was fucking yellow, I would not believe her stupid ass. So I believe whatever he says.
Crazy. And I do mean she's pretty damn crazy. So I really don't believe anything she says. And half the things, well, actually, not even half, the bulk of the things she says makes no sense, because she's covering up for an obvious lie.
Yeah. So basically, what he says happens is that he did a press conference afterwards, of course, which he very well should have. He did a press conference where he says they took him out, they unhandcuffed him about 10, 15 minutes later, and then she allowed him to meet her for 15 minutes so they could discuss things because that's when she realized he was a senator and basically her boss. Because let's be real, when it comes, yes, okay, Donald Trump put her in office, but technically the Senate is one of her bosses. That is your employ. Like, if we're talking about who you're employed by the fucking Senate. They're literally the ones giving you your fucking money and the people of this country, by the
Okay,
way.
quick history lesson for everybody who doesn't get how the
Yeah.
three branches of government work. The presidency is just the executive branch. Is supposed to enforce the law. The
Yeah.
judiciary is supposed to interpret the law. And the Congress holds the power of the purse. Ain't nothing happen unless Congress gives you the monies.
Exactly. So basically, they detained him for a few. Then she allowed him to meet with her for 15 minutes. And then he basically said that he tried to ask her questions and she stonewalled him because that's what she does. Because she doesn't want to actually have to do her motherfucking job of explaining why the ICE, are dragging people off the street and putting them in secret locations where nobody can get a hold of them. Because heaven forbid, we act like a fucking democratic country here. So then Senator Alex Padillo had a press conference where you can see he is visibly upset. He is visibly shaken. And he talks about, because his family history is very interesting, because he talks about how both of his parents were blue collar workers. I believe one of them was an immigrant. Maybe both of them were immigrants here. And he talks about how he's talked about many times what he came from. He's very proud of that. And so these are literally, these are his people. Like, let's be real about this. Not only are his constituents his people, but he could have been in the same position as any one of them for these ICE raids that are going
Don't
on.
apologize for telling the truth.
I know. It's very sarcastic. Don't worry. I have sarcasm there. So basically, he talked about, like, you could see he was very upset. He was very shaken. And I love the point that he made. And I think it's a very fucking pertinent point because he's saying, look what they did to me as a fucking senator, basically her fucking employer. Look what they did to him. They gave no fucks for him being a senator and asking a question. So
really
can you imagine what they are doing to farm laborers and kitchen workers and a lot of these people who work in industries that is 24/7 hour backbreaking work? If they're not giving him any respect, they are doing worse to those people. Worse.
Well, because we had this in our notes, and it was something important for us to bring up because a lot of people probably even saw it so bad that when these two soldiers' mom went to her appointment to meet with ICE, which is an appointment, she's supposed to go talk to them, fill out her paperwork, doing the right thing. Both of them had to go in full military dress with her, and to be honest, I do not strongly believe she would have come home if her boys didn't do that.
So what Crystal's talking about is the fact that there are people who are literally getting, and we'll get into that. There are people being arrested off the street. And so there was a report about a woman who had both her kids in military gear come with her to fill out her paperwork because she was scared that they were going to arrest her. And I think the point there is that, and that's the whole point, is that, and that Senator Alex made, was the fact that if they can toss me on the ground, handcuff me, fucking scream at him, hold weapons on him for asking a question, what are they doing, which we've seen, by the way, in TikTok videos and live, what are they doing to the basic American people who aren't their employers, the Senate is what gives the fucking ICE their money. If you're willing to do that to your boss, what the fuck are you doing to the basic people you owe no loyalty to?
We saw what they do. They don't even respect people who are running for public office.
Yeah. And so then there's actually two more instances, but there was the one which we already know was recorded about. So the first instance that we're talking about that this actually happened was the three New Jersey representatives who had an interaction with the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Gestapo or ICE, whatever you want to call them, facility in Newark. I never know how to pronounce that. And the three representatives are Bonnie Coleman, Rob Menendez, and LaMonica McIver. And in May 2025, they went to Delaney Hall Detention Center, which is an ICE facility, where they were coming in as a congressional oversight visit because, as we have mentioned, the Senate is literally the fucking employer of ICE. Like, that's what it comes down to. You could say oversight.
Well, the Congress in general gives the money, but you know what we mean.
Yes, because both Congress and the House vote on this stuff. So basically, they had gone in to check on the people who had been detained. And I think they got past the first checkpoint, but it was supposed to be a tour. They were supposed to get a tour of the facility. And what happened is that the ICE detained them and refused to let them in. And so, because evidently they were storming the gate. Oh yeah, okay, I should not be saying anybody is storming shit, by the way. So the representatives say that they were met with disrespect, contempt, and aggression. And basically, I mean, there's tons of videos of them being held back when they were trying to go in to check on their fucking constituents. Like, what are you talking about? That's the first incident we saw on camera, right? And so the second one is with mayor candidate Brad Landers, who is a mayoral candidate in New York. So basically now the third incident that has popped up is that the mayoral candidate Brad Landers was going in to check on a judicial warrant by ICE in regards to one of the cases on the docket. He was actually inside the court, and I believe ICE agents were there, and he was going in to ask them to be like, hey, because as you may or may not know this, and we have looked it up because we are going to talk about what you can do to help your community if ICE is sniffing around, because as we've seen, there's a lot of videos. Just look up ICE raids. There's a lot of them out there. Basically, ICE has to have a warrant. If they do not have a judicial warrant to come into your business, to come into your house, to come into anywhere is at, they cannot come in and just arrest you. Like, they cannot enter your premises. They have to have a warrant.
Apparently, all of that has been completely abandoned because, outside of, I know we're about to get into the mayor, a guy who's running for mayor's arrest, but it's like, things like churches, places, schools, everything where they are not legally allowed to be.
Yeah, so the thing is, they can go in those places, but here's the thing, they have to have a warrant. They cannot just bust in like they've been doing and arresting people. So actually, Brad Lander, this was in New York, was asking them for a warrant about this particular case to see if they had it. And in the pictures and the videos, you can see, like, it is pretty fucking jarring if you're just a basic American citizen. This guy has like 3 masked guys on him. He has a couple of other guys. They're all fucking holding him and gripping him. They arrested him for asking about a warrant. Like, how do you get off? I'm sorry. This is like Gestapo tactics. Like, how do you get off arresting this guy for checking your warrant? That's like if a cop asks you for your driver's license.
Ask a question that involves his job. See,
yeah, like
doing your job thing that makes it so you're so arrestable.
Like, if a cop asks you for your driver's license because you're driving a car, that's basically the equivalent. He was asking ICE to say, hey, and yes, he's a mayoral candidate, so he's still a basic fucking citizen right now. But again, and I think the point goes home, and it was said also in that press conference, if ICE can act this way with people who might have the ability to affect their jobs, and they give no fucks, then how are they acting with children and adults and basic people who are just trying to live their lives? Like, there is such a level of, like, they think we can do what we want because, the evil Oompa Loompa has given us the power.
Their king has given them all the power. So they're going around harassing people like crazy.
How far are you willing to go to protect everything and everyone you love? Curse of the Frog Prince, parts 1 and 2, available now.
Yeah, so basically, it's it's just it's horrendous. So then and then let's get into what they've been doing, because for example, we have day laborers missing after they are raiding a Home Depot. We have them invading schools, trying to wait for parents, arrest children. Another situation, an ICE agent arrested a man just outside immigration court. He was literally going there to probably get his citizenship, and they arrested him there.
How dare he do what he was supposed to be doing?
And this is so bad. These masked people are coming with vans, and one of the reports is about them throwing kids in a van.
Sweet Lord.
This is secret police. Did nobody? I know you guys must have slept through some of history, but did none of y'all look at World War II? Did we not see what happened when the schmozzies did all the shit they did? What are we talking about? This is literally the playbook. Yes, the playbook.
Of course it's the playbook, because we're on our way to World War III and a Civil War with this nonsense.
It's ridiculous. And so it's horrendous. You're hearing every day about raids going on where they are trying to go into businesses. It's not funny, but I respect the Dodgers. One of the happier moments, which isn't even happy because it shouldn't be happening, the ICE tried to go inside Dodger Stadium because there was a baseball game. And how dare people go to watch a baseball game? Let's round up those immigrants. Yeah, so they wanted to round up the immigrants. Hold on, pause. Okay, so basically they're trying to go into businesses and stuff, right? So then they tried to go into the Dodger Stadium, and the Dodgers basically said, nah, you can't come in here.
Today.
And there's actually footage, there is hilarious footage of them trying to wait outside because they tried to get permission to get into the stadium and the parking lot before the game started. And Dodgers, the organization that owns the Dodger Stadium, was like, nah, you can't. You don't have a warrant. We don't know you. Who are you, Pookie? We don't know you. Sorry, bye. So there's film of them outside the stadium because they can't be on the property, right? Private business. So they were outside on the streets with their little fucking ICE vans, Gestapo vans, whatever, and trying to wait to see if they could round people up. So this is the kind of shit we're dealing with right now, where they are just taking people off the streets. They're taking children. They're arresting. It's not even a once in a day. It's numerous times a day we're hearing. I mean, for example, for today's 20th, right? I just found a video about how ICE was in Pico Riviera Town Center, and somebody was trying to make a video to warn people about it. So this is the kind of shit we're dealing with. There's another video of them trying to invade a salon, and they were like, no, you cannot come in and let us push this through. If you have a private business, if you are at your home, unless they have a warrant, they cannot enter. They do not have the authority, or they shouldn't, but nobody is fucking checking their asses right now except a few of the Democrats. According to the law, they do not have the authority to arrest people solely for going to their jobs, even if they are undocumented immigrants. They do not have that power. They can enter public areas of a workplace without permission, but that does not give them the right to detain, question, or arrest individuals. And you as a workplace owner, or you as a homeowner, can say no. You as a homeowner, you can tell them if they don't have a warrant, they can't come in. And don't talk to them. And if you have an attorney, call the attorney. If you don't fucking say shit. Don't open the door. They cannot come in without a warrant. They have to have a judicial warrant. So we are going to stress that throughout the rest of this episode. But there's a lot. It's just a lot.
It's too much. That's what it is.
And a lot of it is it's just absurd. For example, some of the statistics that I was looking up before this episode, in 2024, 43.8% of the people they detained with criminal records, and I put that in fucking quotation marks, are misdemeanors. Fucking misdemeanors. It was only 17% that were aggravated felonies. So they want to run around. And by the way, the remaining 4% were convicted either of crimes falling under other categories or unknown categorization. And then there was 35.2% of felonies, which a felony can be a lot. Like, there's a lot of different things that qualify as a felony. So, like, but 43.8% were fucking misdemeanors, which can be like jaywalking. So, like, half the people they're fucking taking in last year were they like to say, oh, they're criminals. They're criminals. So they're like, oh, we took it. I mean, if, for example, if I were to combine these, they could say over 70% were criminals, but that's not the truth, right? You have 43% that were fucking misdemeanors. You have 35% that were felonies, and only 17%, which were aggravated felonies, which usually aggravated felonies are the worst of the worst kind of thing, right? So the solid 17% were the criminals they're looking for. The rest are people who have done shit. But it's like, but the thing is now it's like, it's not even about the criminals portion. They are literally going into schools and churches, as Crystal talked about earlier, to arrest people.
Yeah, forget your sanctuary areas. There's no sanctuary anymore from ICE, apparently. It's a good thing they're running out of money, but we'll get into that later.
Oh, but they're gonna try to maneuver the budget so they can probably steal the defense budget. I bet you money.
Probably with that big ugly clusterfuck they're trying to pass.
I know. It's so astounding that like they're getting away with this. It's like what I don't know what else to say about this. Like other than
we can bring up at least people, they see this, and it's not like everybody's just sitting there staring at ICE.
No.
People are fighting back.
Yeah, so there is going to be a website we're going to post below, which is, hold on, I'm going to look it up real quick. I have it here, which is the immigrantdefenseproject.org, and I'm going to link below, you guys, in the video, because we are going, like, if you go to that site, they tell you how you can help protect the immigrants in your community, because, by the way, they're arresting legal immigrants, too. They're not just doing undocumented. They're going after legal residents too. So these
part they're doing with anybody who looks funny to them. So anybody who is not white.
Anybody who's brown. Yeah, let's be real. Anybody who is brown. Because there's a lot of racism in this.
And descendants.
Yep. So basically, the Immigration Defense Project has a rage map that you can see, and they're trying to monitor trends of ICE arrest and raids so that everybody knows. There's ICE Watch, which is also linked on the website. There are toolkits to know what your constitutional rights are. There are ICE materials there's also a link to the materials they have for how they conduct home raids, but it's also good to read up on if you're a citizen so you know how to refuse them. And also they have a primer on ICE ruses, because it's been a thing they've talked about for years about how ICE is very deceptive and how they trick people into like getting them alone so they can arrest them. So there's a primer on ICE ruses so that you can avoid. By the way, ICE, did we talk about that? Because ICE, there's a flyer about how ICE pretend to be a local police. Did we talk about the firefighter thing yet, Crystal?
No. Oh, Lord. No, that paid me so angry.
Right. Okay. So the other incident like that I just remembered, so I had to like go and look it up, you guys, is that on June 10th, so on Saturday night, I think it was the night before, protesters were gathering around the 26th Federal Plaza in Lower Manhattan, where they were reportedly holding more than 100 people in stifling and inhumane conditions. Someone inside the building made an emergency call, summoning the New York Fire City Department, telling the dispatcher that someone was stuck in an elevator. So a ladder trucking crew raced over, and the protesters and police, of course, parted to let, because, we are all taught from a very young age, if you see firefighters or police or ambulances, you let them in. Like, yeah. That's what you do. So they let him in, and the fire engine parked double, and they hopped out because they're like, oh, we're going to have to breach the elevator door. But when they got into the building, they were like, oh, we checked the elevators. They're all working normally. They talked to the building manager. He didn't know anything about a call. And so then what they find out is while the firefighters were inside, a white panel van, the kind ICE uses to deport people, to transport detainees, raced out of the federal complex's underground garage and through the gap in the crowd that had been allowed to, when they allowed the fire truck to pass, basically using them to get out of there.
Yep, and the
so they did.
Firefighters were understandably pissed off because, that's a really sick thing to do.
Yeah, so they basically used the firefighters. They did a fake 911 call to get out because the protesters were not going to let them out. So they used the fucking national firefighters, who are there, by the way, to save somebody in an elevator. And so that's how low we're stooping. So you're like, oh crap, we're in trouble because the protesters won't let us out.
They are well past rock bottom. This is past rock bottom.
Oh yeah, no, they're just
emergency services for that.
I mean, look at who's running them. And again, let's talk about Kristi Noem, puppy unaliver. We are looking at a person who I firmly, my opinion, let me be clear, my opinion is that she is a sociopath because she unalives puppies. I don't care. You unalive puppies, you don't have empathy. And which I think she's proven because her and Donald Trump have a sick fucking twisted love affair going on. So basically, you have somebody who has no empathy and does not even care about animals, right? Running the Gestapo, aka secret police, aka ICE, and they're just taking people off the streets and they're masked. And that's even worse. The fact that these agents are masked with no badges, nothing, and they're just going in like that shit is. Sorry, say that one more time.
Oh, I said it really does show you they're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Because they don't want anybody to know who they are. And I mean, here's my thing. If you have to mask up and take off a name tag because you don't want people to know what you're doing, that by default says you're fucking up. These ICE agents are cowards. They are fucking disgusting. I don't care. You know what? Unlike the National Guard and the military who have to follow orders unless the whole unit doesn't, these are people who are working willingly helping to kidnap American citizens and immigrants who are and by the way, most of these immigrants they've taken, they talk about how a lot of them are in the process of getting citizenship. So these are not just criminals running around trying to shoot up a place. These are literally people who are working jobs, paying into the system, who are getting arrested because the Gestapo, ICE, because Donald Trump and Kristi Noem want to look good. They want to say, look at all the people they've arrested.
Mia, actually, while we're on this subject about how they're covered up and everything and don't have name tags, we probably should also throw in the fact that not all those ICE agents are actual ICE agents. Many of them are even bounty hunters.
I don't know for sure, like the statistics on that, but I'm sure. Yeah, because I'm sure
because this has been reported that some of them are bounty hunters. I don't know what to the degree is, but they did see some of those people with no name tag.
I wouldn't put it past them because they probably had people quit, and so they're having to make up. But we don't know that for sure. So let's just put allegedly there.
Allegedly, bounty hunters.
Allegedly.
We know our legally. Yeah.
Allegedly. We have to see now. I get to remind you this time. That's great.
Yeah, that's why you're reminding me.
Because usually Crystal has to remind me. So this is great. I finally get a chance. Okay, so anyways, as an American citizen, and I know Crystal's gonna have some stuff to say about this too. As an American citizen, and I've said this before, my great-great-great-grandparents immigrated here from Germany, Hungary, multiple family members, and they came here to get away from that kind of crap. They literally immigrated here away from that because they wanted to come to the U.S., build their life. And it was actually, there's a family story in my family about how when I believe it was my great-great-grandfather came in, he literally told the family they were not allowed to talk German anymore. They were only allowed to talk English because they wanted to be American. They wanted to be like the people in their new homeland. They wanted to build a life here. So as a third or fourth generation my family immigrated here, it is very upsetting to see that we now have basically Germany in 1940s reenacted. This is what's happening.
Was trying to run from. Hey, they decided to have it here. I mean, it just makes me think. My father came to this country years ago, and what I told you previously, he loved is that you're allowed to express yourself in America as long as you do it lawfully because of the First Amendment. And he would be above and beyond upset if he was still alive to see that thrown away. And I'm just thinking, I am the daughter of an immigrant. I am the niece of immigrants. I am the cousin of immigrants. I'm thinking about my family. And, all of their papers are done years ago, so I don't have to worry about ICE. At least I better not. They did all their stuff years ago. They're good. But my thing is I'm just thinking about people like my family. They're trying to come here for a better life. They're trying to even do the right thing.
Yeah.
And they're being denied that. They're being rounded up and treated like
Yeah.
they're animals. And these are human beings.
They are.
Really are.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting.
They are.
Humans treated like this. You don't treat children going to school.
Yeah.
And here's something, Mia, I'm going to say allegedly, because I wasn't able to find the full report on this, but allegedly, even a man and woman who were in their car got rounded up by ICE, and they even left their babies in the car.
Yep. I heard about that one.
Yeah. People were seeing it, and, they wouldn't even let people get the babies out of the car. And it's like, what the literal fuck is happening here? What is happening in this country where you're going to round up parents and not even take care of the children? I even heard about a 2-year-old who got left alone because they were in the fields. I forget what they were picking. I think it was strawberries. And their parents got rounded up. And it was a 2-year-old. It was a 12-year-old, I believe. And
12-year-old.
Is alone.
That was last month.
There. Yeah.
Yeah, so last month, and I heard about that one last month, and again, allegedly. Well, actually, I don't even think that, because I'm pretty sure I saw the reports on that one, where a 12-year-old kid was with one of the parents, because one of the parents wasn't there. It was one parent. Well, the one I read, so maybe it was 2 separate ones, because the one I read about was they were with one parent, and that it was actually so maybe it was a separate story, because this was in a community thing where their parents were in a car with the kid. The one parent was with the kid, and then they pulled him over, arrested the parent, and then the kid was left there on the fucking street corner. And thankfully, there was community people there who saw this kid crying and upset and came over to comfort him and get him to a family member. I couldn't even. The fucking secret police, because that's what we're going to call them. The secret police could not be bothered to make sure they didn't call social services. They didn't call a guardian. They didn't even call a police officer. They gave no fucks. They were like, oh, we got to get in and take this kid's parent. And we give no fucks. What if that kid had been hurt? What if that kid had been killed?
I said this before when we were talking about that woman's book. And I'm going to bring it here because it does have relevance. We are adults.
Yeah.
These ICE agents are supposed to be fucking adults. Adults. It is our job, above all things, to make sure children are safe. I don't care if your fucking title is to go after people who supposedly cross illegally. I don't give a damn. You are a grown-ass adult. You do not leave a child alone and scared.
Yeah, right. And the thing is, and it's not even that. I mean, they're rounding up children too. So they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about the children. They don't give a fuck about the families. They don't give any fucks at all. So it's absurd that we have now come to this. But let's talk about what you can do during a raid, because I think the more people who know, the better you can help your community. If you see an ICE raid going down, and if you're not involved. So the first thing is, if it's not you, get your phone out, start recording. Start fucking recording, because that is the best thing you can do. Every phone has a camera now. So I don't care, even if it's the shitty ones, they have a camera. Get out, start recording. If you see it going down, start recording. Don't talk to them, by the way. And this is actually so the 5 most important things you can do during a raid. So first of all, if you're the person on the end of that raid, first of all, I feel so bad if you are. Stay calm, do not run away, remain silent, or tell the ICE agent you want to remain silent, do not speak, and don't lie, because they can charge you. Of course they can, because they can lie, but you can't. So don't talk to them, okay? Ask to speak to a lawyer, because you have the fucking rights to speak to a lawyer. Do not sign any documents or answer any questions without lawyer present. Record if you can. If you're not, obviously it's a very emotional, upsetting thing. If you can, try to remember details and names of officer, but they don't have names, right? Because these guys are being fucking secret agent bullshit. So just try to remember. If you hear a name, just remember it, okay? To try to also educate yourself on the rights you have, educate people in your community, organize a rapid response network. So find out if you might have an ICE network in your area that is documenting ICE activity, legal funds, bail funds, advocate. I've seen some of the YouTube lawyers who, and I'm going to link one of the lawyers' videos I watched, because he was very passionate. There's a lot of lawyers who are not happy about this shit either. So
Well,
when
most
I say, I'm
lawyers
pretty sure that there's a lot of lawyers in a lot of these areas who will represent you for free if the shit's going down to you, okay? So again, don't talk. If you have a phone or if a family member has a phone, fucking record. If you are in your private home, you do not have to let them in without a warrant. If they have a warrant, yes, you have to let them in. That is because that is the law. But again, don't talk to them. Request a lawyer. Don't say shit. Don't say shit to them. They don't deserve to hear what you have to say. Fucking wait for a lawyer, baby. Say, I want to talk to a lawyer. Lawyer, lawyer.
remember, Fifth Amendment, I want my attorney. Fifth
Right?
Amendment, I want my attorney. I don't give a damn if these people don't give a fuck
Right?
about the Constitution. That document is still valid and it's the law of the
Yep.
land. Fifth Amendment, I want my attorney.
Exactly. And why we say don't run away, because I think the first response, obviously, if you're a younger kid or your first response is like, oh, fuck, what is going on? Run away. The reason why we're saying don't run away is because unless you're in a group and then maybe like, have them record. But if you're by yourself, don't run away, because again, they can use that to charge you with a crime and then you're fucked. So don't talk to them. Say lawyer. Here's all you need to say. Lawyer. My name is lawyer. Lawyer? Lawyer.
Everybody practice this phrase. Practice phrase. I want my lawyer.
Lawyer.
I want my lawyer. I plead the fifth and I
Yes.
want my lawyer.
And if you are with somebody who is getting who ICE in their secret fucking vans, fucking record. Put out your phone, fucking start recording, get the license plate. Honestly, I would say call the fucking cops, because as far as I'm concerned, if I see somebody being snapped, and if you also ask for a warrant too. If they're arresting you in fucking public for doing nothing, ask for a warrant. If you're with a group of people, ask for a warrant, because
warrant and ask what are you
and if they don't have, if they don't present one, have somebody you're with call the police. Because here's the thing, I'm not going to say that the police are necessarily going to help you, because I think we've seen with the LA situation that the police are not always going to land on your side. But in this case, if they do not have a warrant, then you are allowed to call the police and say, hey, I was walking down the street. They are trying to arrest me. They'll probably try to take your phone. So hopefully you are with somebody who will call for you and let them know. Like, my thing is, I'm not saying trust the police. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is it can be a useful tool, possibly. Just consider, depending on what area you're in, if you know that your local police are maybe friendlier towards your community, and I'm not promising they are at all. I hope they are, but we can't promise that right now, right?
Don't count on that too much.
Right. But hey, at the very least, it can be a stall tactic, because if they don't have a warrant, and especially if you're in a business, if you are in a business or your home, if you're in your house, call the police, call a lawyer first, then call the police. But if you are in your business, if they don't have a warrant, yes, they can come in the public part of the business, but they can't just arrest you for fucking working. That's not how that shit works.
Yeah,
they have to have a warrant. So ask for a warrant. If they don't have a warrant, fucking don't be challenging, because I don't want you guys to get hurt. I'm trying to go for maximum safety here, because as much as I would love to fucking say pile on and jump them, let's not.
Yeah, as much
because
as throw a glitter bomb at them, we can't.
Right? Oh, hey, technically glitter's not a weapon. I don't even care.
Well, in all truth, the glitter bomb is the cruelest thing you could ever do to somebody when you think
it's wonderful. I endorse glitter bombs. Anyway.
No, I mean, they get it off and, it gets everywhere.
ICE has now warranted glitter bombs as a weapon at them. I am just saying, Crystal, bring out the glitter.
It might be better than the tar sand people are saying to throw at their cars, which I'm not condoning throwing tar sand.
No, yeah, don't. Okay, and if you're protesting, let's just, for a quick second, if you're protesting, please don't damage property. Please do not loot. Please do not write. You know what? You as a citizen, you as an immigrant, you have every right to fucking protest the abuses by this government. And I understand, because as somebody who's fucking appalled by this bullshit, I completely understand the anger. I completely understand the need to be upset, and anger can lead to violence. But please, for your safety and the safety of those around you, if you are protesting this, and feel free to protest at ICE detention centers, maybe go ahead, do it. Please be safe. Do not go after property. Don't go after, fucking record. That's your best weapon. That's what I'm going to tell people. Your best weapon is to record these fucking cowards. Record record them.
Remember,
Put it on
we're in an
TikTok.
age where everybody has a camera.
Yes.
There are cameras everywhere. Nothing is hidden.
Yes.
Take advantage of that power
Record.
that we've been given.
Because there's no way they can say, I mean, Florida's trying to do it. They're trying to say you can't record it. But even that, I think if it went to a court, I don't think it would hold up.
State.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. Fucking record everything. Record. And if you are concerned about your community, make sure if you have an immigrant in your community that you're concerned about, fucking if you have the time, offer to drive them to work. Offer to go with them. Be that silent observer. Be that person who says, do you have a warrant? Do you have a warrant? Because if they don't have a warrant, you as the observer can fucking call the police and say, I don't know, these people are just trying to grab this guy off the street.
Yeah.
And at the very least, I'm not saying to trust the police, but because I don't think, honestly, in some of these places you can't, right? But I am saying at the very least, be smart. It can be a stall tactic, because if they hear you calling the police, they can't arrest you for calling the police. Like, you know? So be a silent observer. Offer to go with your immigrant family, friends, whoever. Go with them, record, okay? Record and upload it and show everybody, because to me, power of the people, I think with all the cameras and shit we have now, the best thing we can do is get this shit uploaded. Because I'll tell you right now, you have the fucking media sitting there saying, oh, they're trying to start a war in LA. And then you have people uploading shit constantly on fucking TikTok showing the truth. And even the media can't ignore that, because even the media has had to report and be like, oh, well, there are people showing what the police are doing. So it's like, the more you record, the better because we are showing the world what is going on, and you are showing your neighbors what is going on. That is the best thing you can do. Now, I think probably down the road, we're going to have a future conversation about if and when things get to a point that there's no other way to respond.
When that time comes, because it's very upsetting, and the thing is, we both know it's coming, but it hasn't arrived yet. But when it comes, we are going to probably go down the checklist of what needs to be done, because this is sad. We'll be telling you, okay, this is how you set up. Make sure to bring, well, actually, in general, right now, if you're going to protest these ICE raids and stuff, make sure to carry water with you. Have a bucket of water or something, because if they tear gas on you, you'll need it to clean your eyes.
Well, actually, water can make it worse. So
use water? No, it's milk.
Most of the time, water will not help. That's why they've been carrying gallons of milk around, because milk will wash it out. Because milk is kind of that.
Good water when I meant milk, but right.
I figured that's what you meant. So,
make sure to have some nice milk with you, because you don't want that stuff in your eyes. It hurts. And be careful if they're firing those rubber bullets at you, because. And by the way, there are gas masks on fucking Amazon for $15, people. 15. Go Google. Buy a gas mask. A couple of those for $15. It's not.
And bandanas can be very useful. You obviously, by the way, hey, they can be masked. You can be masked, baby. So wear a mask, because at the very least, it won't.
Mask and carry it with you.
It won't stop the tear gas, but it'll filter some of it out, so it won't get into your mouth. Okay, so just be prepared. Wear extra clothing if you're protesting. Just have it with you just in case. Like, obviously, again, we're probably gonna have a conversation soon. And I'm hoping not. I don't know. I know that there is
a video where we say we thought we were going to have this conversation, but it looks like we don't have to, and we're grateful. But
I don't
feel too confident about it at this moment.
I know. I mean, I want to have hope that the Senate and the House will actually do their fucking job. But right now, it seems like, and I'm going to say this, I don't give a fuck. The Republican Party has failed. The Republican Party is not a party for the people anymore. And I'm not saying the Democratic Party is the be-all. No, I'm not going to, because I'm a progressive.
Party is not without their fault. But they did a lot of things that messed up. There are many Democrats, I will give them credit, who are trying to fight that. But the Republicans have failed 100%. They do not care. The few Republicans
they're cowards
saying this is wrong are cowards.
They are. The Republicans in the House and Senate are cowards. They are so afraid of evil Oompa Loompa saying their name and saying something bad that they're not even willing to stand up for the people, and that is just disgusting.
They're scared his boyfriend will give them money to primary them. They want to hold on to those seats. Right. People, if you want to be an elected official, fine, but remember why the fuck that job even exists. You're not going to fill your pocket. supposed to, even though these assholes are, but you're not supposed to go there for that. You're going there to represent the people, to represent the million voices that need help, to try to make things better.
Oh, they don't care.
On your ass.
They don't care. They just don't care.
I know.
So, anyways,
my representative doesn't care, Marjorie Taylor bitch.
I know. So let's end on something happy, because it's just been rage and not happiness. But we have one unexpected thing that it's not really happy, but I did not. So talking about our 2025 bingo card, Crystal, which we probably should make one up and just put the most outlandish shit on it and see what happens.
I was not expecting this.
I wasn't either.
Not happy, but it is fucking funny as hell.
It's hilarious. Okay, so here's your hilarious 2025 bingo card. Is recently Tucker Carlson, I know, the Tucker Carlson who interviewed Putin and asked him if he liked ice cream or some shit like that. The nice boy.
Vigorous spanking statements.
Oh, right.
Very uncomfortable.
I know. So, Tucker Carlson was interviewing Ted Cruz. And I mean, I know Ted Cruz is hated, but like when you see this interview, really, honestly, my first fucking thought, I literally looked at Jason, my boyfriend, and was like, damn, Tucker Carlson fucking hates Ted Cruz. Like, I have never seen Tucker Carlson act like an actual journalist.
I mean,
holy shit.
Hardcore journalist in that.
He was.
What the fuck just happened here?
He was interviewing Ted Cruz because if you haven't heard about this, let's tell you, darlings. The MAGA party is currently split because we have this Iran-Iraq thing. We're not going to get into it.
We're seeing the beginnings of the cracks. Let's not declare it split.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, there's cracks. Sorry, I don't mean split. I mean there's cracks in the party. So a lot of the MAGA people don't want to get into a war. Like that's one of their biggest talking points. Of we've been involved in too many wars. And we want no wars. And Evil Oompa Loompa promised them no more wars. And now Evil Oompa Loompa is saying, with Ted Cruz's help, oh, but we should join in. We should fuck people up. Let's fuck people up.
And speaking of that, I'm gonna say this really quick. It is looking like some of our boys may get deployed soon because
again,
posting videos of them getting steak and lobster treatment. Let's
not get into that. So let's focus on. So then Tucker Carlson was interviewing Ted Cruz and asking him questions like, okay, you support this. What do you know about the religions in that country? What do you know about the people? Tell me this percentage. Tell me this.
People are in Iran. How many people are in
I know. And Ted Cruz couldn't answer shit. And Ted, you could see, Ted Cruz was so fucking mad that, because here he thought, Ted Cruz is like, oh yeah, Tucker loves Donald Trump, so he's going to ask me easy questions. That is not what happened, people. Tucker Carlson was like, I'm going to pretend I'm a journalist today, and just fucking went at him. What at him? I was like, damn, I didn't know you hated somebody, Tucker.
Well, in all truth, Ted Cruz has been known for years. They said Ted Cruz can bring out everybody's pure hatred of him. Clearly,
maybe
person hates Ted Cruz so much, he's like, fuck all my loyalty to bullshit. I'm going to be a journalist for 5 minutes.
Right? So anyways, if you have your 2025 bingo card out, people, mark off Tucker Carlson acting like an actual fucking journalist. Just mark that off. You've got it.
Again in recorded history. Remember it, fuck.
Right? Because if he sits down with anybody else, it's going to be, do you like ice cream? I like ice cream. What is your favorite flavor? Like, it's that kind of shit.
Or creepy, perverted statement that makes you uncomfortable and would like you to shower in chili pepper just to get the gross off.
Right. Ugh, he is that trust fund baby, man. Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing. I was not expecting to have any respect for Tucker Carlson ever. And there was a small kernel. But there's a small kernel, Crystal.
There's not even a kernel for me. Mia, there is nothing you could ever tell me to get me to respect that man.
But he tore into Ted Cruz.
Say, wow, at least that.
But he tore into Ted Cruz. I mean, damn, I didn't know he had it in him. I hate him. I can't fucking stand the guy. He's fucking shit at his job. But the one time,
be a journalist once in my life,
he manned the fuck up real quick. So anyways, you guys, we're gonna let's end the episode on the laughter point because there's nothing happy about what's going on in the U.S. And if you're listening to us from overseas, please make refugee baskets for us. I don't know what else.
Please.
We might
Force me to go to Ghana and I'm not going for a visit, please, family, make me some jollof rice.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to be tagging along with Crystal. I will be her white cousin nobody knew about. My name will be what's a good Ghanaian name? Mia something. I'll fucking work it. I'll work it.
I'll figure out your day name later.
Yeah, find me a Ghanaian name, Crystal, because if I
It's
have
really
to
not that
immigrate,
hard. Like, I have to think about what day of the week you were born and then remember which week. But
okay, we'll go from there. So if you see Crystal's white cousin with her, just smile and nod, smile and
yeah, I'm
nod.
gonna have to teach you some terminology. Also,
I
you know, I'm
know.
gonna bring some bribe money because I can say
Yeah,
you're my cousin all I want. They are gonna give me hell bringing you in.
I know, and I'm really white, so we'll work it. We'll find a way. First thing I'm gonna say is I love Ghanaian chocolate. Will that get me any kind of love? Maybe
No.
love. Damn it.
Yeah, but let's just say I'm gonna teach you a word they will most likely call you.
What if I make them like a good mac and cheese? I make really good mac and cheese.
I'm gonna
So
teach you a word they're gonna call you probably.
Crystal's gonna have to help
Very
me.
kind, welcoming, but when you talk about coming to live, they hear colonizer.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to colonize. I just want to run
I know
away.
you're not looking to colonize, but I know that. They don't know that.
Okay, just know that if you're in another country, just maybe get in the future have an extra bedroom. That's all we're asking. Anyways, so this is the end of this episode, you guys. Thank you for listening to As the Pages Turn. We have some awesome interviews coming up. We have Miss Giselle Stafford, a lovely new author.
A
We have
awesome new author.
Yes. And then we have a lovely book owner, Lindsay from Sabine Bookshop. That's coming up. We
Oh,
also
Lindsay.
have,
She's gonna give these conservatives a run for their money.
that's going to be fun. So we're going to have a great time with her. And then we have a book talk episode coming up. We have a lot of stuff coming up. So just keep your eyes tuned.
Yeah, we'll
Please
probably
like,
have to
please
get some of
subscribe.
your narrators out of your basement.
I know. Look, we'll talk about that later because my basement's very protected. Anyways. So you guys, please like, please subscribe. Thank you so much for listening to us. Just rage for however an hour. And we will see you guys later.
Goodbye, everybody.